there is a organisation in Ireland called the National Biodiversity Data Centre, and they actually take records from the public as part of recording biodiversity in Ireland. So, you or I or anyone in their own town or, their own locality can download their app and start identifying species. So if you only know what a crow looks like, that's fine. You can record the crow in your front garden and you can submit that record. Where they see gaps in the data, like if there's a lot of kind of really interesting flora species in the Burren in Ireland, which is a really cool karst landscape. And there's a lot of really interesting, botanical finds there that you might need more experts involved in, kind of surveying. So they will fill in the gaps with the experts, but really as a tool to bring in that level of data every year consistently. It's, it's a huge power source, and it's only having a knowledge base like that that will inform government decisions correctly, or that will back up the decisions when people say you can't do that because that's going to have a really bad negative impact on the environment. You can say, here is the data, this was done in this area before, and now we don't have this, the curlew species has gone from this area now, and this is why. We can see a direct correlation. To have that data available is powerful. It's really about making sure that we have the resources, so we have the experts available, we have the people on the ground doing the work, but that we're also able to use that information that they're collecting then to inform decisions. So I feel like it's starting to maybe, look like we're starting to head that way. However, I will say a lot of the ecologist positions that come up, and I only know about all this because I'm still in contact with a lot of my peers from college. So a lot of them work in that field. And the feedback really is that there's a lot of private consultancy companies, that would work in development, for example, and they want an ecologist on board because it's part of their requirements that they need to do environmental impact assessments. However, it's not in their interest really to protect the environment. They're ticking a box. They're making sure that they're kind of going by the laws there. So making sure that we have an equally large pool of resources in our government organisations that are there to protect our, that's their sole job, to protect the environment. Like there needs to be an equal investment in that, because when you have a conflict of interests, it's no, I'm not accusing anybody of trying to destroy the environment, but really if your prerogative is to make sure that you're building X amount of houses this year, which is also an important topic in Ireland right now, that your main number one interest is not going to be, oh, I really hope we don't disturb that habitat that is going to be next door to the housing estate that we're building. Do you know what I mean? So there needs to be enough funding going into the bodies that are working on actually protecting the environment, and then I think even at that stage, we still have a long way to go in a European context. We're way behind, way behind. And it's actually from a biodiversity standpoint, but also from an emission standpoint, our stats are just going up and up and up. And they need to be coming down, so what we're talking the talk up here, but we're not walking the walk at the moment. And that's where the issue lies,
I'm right there with you that I really wish that this just wasn't something you had to pay people to do, or this was just something that was just common knowledge. Like, okay, we're all living on this earth. How can we do things that are not going to damage it down the line? Everything that's happening with climate change is human influenced. It's kind of a sad thing that there has to be some type of incentivization to help the earth. Many times I've been on road trips and I've seen someone just throw like a bottle out their car, or someone just throws a bottle, just steps away from a trash can. It's just,
that drives me nuts. That one, when it's like they drop it like 5 feet away from the trash can. I'm like, it's right there.
Yeah, it's sad. So
I think though, Jasmine, it's due to a disconnect, like looking after or working with the earth, because we are part of biodiversity at the end of the day. We are part of it. We're natural, like, earth beings, like we are part of it. And it's just the society that we live in and the physical built landscape that we live in has us really disconnected from what used to come naturally to us. So I know it's a bit heartbreaking, but it's also, I think, what would be ideal is that our entire system of how we live would change, but we definitely can't do
Mhm.
that overnight. So we have to try and make small changes within our bounds now. But yeah, I think ultimately, wouldn't it be nice to just throw the whole template away and just start again and just say, here, look, this is how we're going to build our societies, and we need more community involvement here, and we need to kind of restructure what we value and how we interact with each other. But you know, I'm living in a house that has central heating, and I'm very much part of the, like, say, the modern, westernized world, as are other millions of people. So we have to try and meet people where they're at with a little bit of compassion, that we can't necessarily change everything overnight, but let's focus on what we can do.
Definitely.